Bakery section, we make our way to the registers. The line, thankfully, is almost non-existent. It's not long before we've both paid for our food and are out the door. As Lily retrieves her cane and extends it to full length, I wasted a minute looking upwards at the night sky while holding both our bags. For a moment I try to make clouds with my breath, but the summer heat doesn't seem to cooperate. Eventually she rights herself, taking a quick stretch before taking her bag and leaving me to my two. You tired as well? The festival preparations have been complete chaos. Shizune's breathing down my neck doesn't exactly help things either. Hey, she's only trying to get everything organized. Better now than later, right? I suppose. I'm going to enjoy relaxing in town tomorrow, that's for certain. I guess the festival preparations must be taking their toll on both of them. We walk out on a quiet street, talking between ourselves as we carry our bags of food and supplies from the store. Wait, what's that? I already know this. I did this part. But, I'm considering skipping the Rin part just because we've done it and it's kind of long and bleh. I know it's very distinct figure making its way toward us, silhouetted by streetlights. For a second I thought it'd be another male student from my class, but as he, or I should say she, gets close, I recognize her quickly. Yeah, alright, I'm going to skip ahead a little. I will be right back. And I don't know why I had a Russian accent. Alright, it's new because skip mode stopped. So, this is when, you're going back up and you're kind of, getting weaker because of the arrhythmia and you're breathing harder, and she notices and asks, and your response is, oh, I'm just not in good shape, and then, yeah, so, this is new, so, I figured I'd stop. Oh, for fuck's sake, I hate this microphone. I miss my desktop. I would use it, but it picks up too much. And then, I'm trying to think of a layout where, maybe if I have a desk on the side, I could do that. Just move everything over a little. That's for another day. To my surprise, in a moment's time, her face shows like she's come to some sort of realization. Wait, so the time when Emmy and you collided in the hallway? I grimaced slightly. Her ability to connect the dots quite so fast is unexpected. Yeah, I guess I'm a textbook example of why those rules about running in the corridors exist. That was a lot more dry than I had intended. Lily visibly shies away from continuing the topic. Why do I want to sewage her concern? I'm guessing, like, get rid of, kind of. I really don't have to dwell on this either. Don't worry about it. I try to offer a reassuring smile, but when I realize the futility, without knowing this, Lily smiles at me reassuringly, but doesn't say anything further. Arriving at the dorms, Rin stops in front of her mural as if lightning struck her. She had been so quiet for almost all the way back that I had all but forgotten she was here. It's Friday, isn't it? Yes, Friday the 8th of June. This is bad. Bad? Why? I think I'm going to go in a fetal position and throw up, possibly in reverse order. Is something wrong? No, nothing is wrong. It's Friday. Nothing is wrong yet. The mural, it's going to need to be finished by Sunday, so everything's alright. Do you have any drugs or a time machine? This is not good. Not good. So she's behind her schedule, recalling Shizune's exasperation at Rin's careless attitude several days ago. I don't know what to think. She has left herself open for a told you so, unless you could pull off whatever she needs to pull off by Sunday, but yeah, Sunday morning. Rin keeps staring at her mural, looking for as mortified as she can. Leave me. I'm going to need to work for a while. I glanced at Lily, expecting her to share an incredulous look with me as I roll my eyes, but then I realized she's not one to do that kind of thing. Leave me. We do, of course, not wanting to aggravate her any more than she already is. Yeah, that's aggravate, okay. There's a churning bad feeling in my gut. Rin sure has a knack for making people feel worried about her. She seems like a person who should never be left alone. Maybe we should call someone? She sounded like she was going into shock or something. I'm sure she was just fine. She's just how to say? I feel like Hoxer's had a little trying to find a polite way of calling Rin crazy without calling her crazy. Unique? Yes, a very unique person. I guess you could say that. She giggles at the notion, melodiously, nodding in agreement. I butchered that word. Melodiously? Melodiously. Okay. Sorry about leaving you stranded as you talk to her. I don't really understand her, so I keep my distance. So my guess was right. Lily offers a slight apologetic smile as if she was sorry that her own shortcomings have prevented her from becoming closer to Rin. I'm not one to blame her, at all. Lily lets slip a long breath, probably a disguised yawn. I imagine she's as exhausted as all this as I am. I better leave now and give these to Hanako. Thank you for the company, Hisao. She smiles very sweetly at me. It feels different than normal. Despite the fact that she seems to be smiling so often, I can't put my finger on what the difference is. It's just different. Relaxed, I'd say, but that's probably just relief over getting rid of Rin, maybe. Yeah, good night. Say hi to Hanako for me. I will. Good night. Doesn't matter how long I don't play this, I still remember the tune. I wonder if they have their soundtrack free online, because I would definitely be interested in that. I do like the background music and everything. I get into my games. The students roll into class for the Saturday morning session, each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people who have worked through the night. With only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until lunch break, and then our time is our own. Mattel lurches into class in a tired staggered. I suppose students aren't the only people who that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrawls some page and question numbers on the board, slumps down at his desk. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in the class is going to call him out on it. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbook into position and get to work. Not wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Now, if this were college, I'm pretty sure they would all leave at this point if they had even come in. Because if it's just that, I mean, in college, it's usually not so simple. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partly be attributed to the 2 empty seats beside me. For some reason, Misha and Shizune aren't present, probably doing council work for the festival. It's very quiet without Misha present. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she is making up for Shizune's lack of voice. Nakai, can I speak to you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I didn't even notice Matata approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out into the hallway. Matao stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he is trying to say. Not knowing what is going on, I wait silently. So, tell me, how are things? Things? I expected Matao to be a little vague, but this is pushing the limits. You know, things. You had a week to settle in now, so how are things? Fun, I guess. I see. How is your condition? The pause before condition seemed a little unnecessary. Haven't had any problems so far. A brief shimmer of relief passes through Matao's face. Good, that's good. The school nurse was a little concerned that you might have been pushing yourself a bit too hard. He asked me to keep an eye on you when he couldn't. That makes sense. I ask that you don't blow us off so freely. As much as we try to give you the level of education that you would get at a normal school, you have to realize that you have limits. Our goal is to make sure that you know where those limits are and how to maximize your potential within them. Do you follow me? I guess. I mean, I don't plan on doing anything stupid. Well, that's a start, I guess. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Matao taps his chin, raising an eyebrow as he absorbs this information. Is that so? I suppose there's still students out there that realize the importance of learning. I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Well, yeah, you've got to keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? You're right. Wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any one of them could be the key to the next Big Bang thing, or big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Matao's serious talk is over. He's gone back to his standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. Yeah, me and Matao, man, we're scatterbrains. Yeah. It's not a good thing, but I think in hindsight that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. Well then, I think that's all I really had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief at this suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Matao pauses for a moment. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before. For an answer, I consider replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back into the classroom. A few students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they are working on questions on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on their desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Matao does not even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves the scientific journal from the drawers. I guess I got to him there. The class returns to near silence that Matao and I left it in before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away until finally the bell will cry out, ending the torment. Before you all leave, I expect the answers for those problems by Monday. The class sizes one, instantly regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issues at hand. The classroom empties in a blink as... Really? No? Blink of an eye? Okay. Blink as everyone rushes to the last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the question so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the week with the festival and all tomorrow. Apart from me, Hanako is the only one left, obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all the way to our classroom to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally harder for her than it is for Hanako. But it's none of my business, so I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that. Or anything else either. So an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages of my notebook. Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil head splinters against the paper just as I was about to finish a paragraph. The sounds of my irritated sigh and subsequent founding around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking the mood in the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako? Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lily leaves down the hall and Hanako idles back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. I watch Hanako at the corner of my eye out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple minutes, she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom evidently becomes too much for her, though, her slender frame reaching into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that isn't the one I saw her reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. God damn it, I hate when I fucking nudge my mic and then I mess with it. But why... Oh, that's good, it's gonna pick up. But why would Lily leave her to her own devices? Seems quite out of the ordinary, going by Hanako's reaction. Ah, that's right, I think Lily mentioned something about going into town today before Rin bumped into us. The thought of that walk makes me look outside. The bright sun and occasional people wandering around and enjoying the afternoon makes me yearn to get out of school. At least do something other than sit here. Dipping into one of my worst vices, procrastination, I decide that history is a subject best studied on a Sunday, or a Monday, or on any day other than this one. I give a grunt as I lover myself out of my seat, briefly debating with myself whether or not to go hang out with Kenji. No, you should never have to debate that, unless he takes off his glasses. He doesn't strike me as enjoying the nice weather outside with others kind of person, really. I guess I'll catch up with him later. Changing tacks, I briefly entertain the idea of talking with Hanako, but by the time I look at her seat, it's vacant. She must have left for the library. There's got to be something I can do to kill the time. Go for a walk into town. I kind of looked up a walkthrough, so I know these. Following Hanako to the library seems a bit intrusive. There was a reason she left the classroom after all. And that aside, I do want to catch up with Lily. At the very least, I'd like to thank her for looking out for me despite her other obviously taxing duties. I guess I'll walk around town. With any luck, I should be able to find Lily. The exercise will do me some good as well. Walking through the school courtyard to the gate, I give a small nod to a couple of the passing classmates, the gesture being returned in kind. Even from here, the shouts of the sports club members can be heard. From the sheer volume of the din, the track must be packed right now. I remember what Lily said yesterday about being dropped right into the middle of a busy time for the school year. While I'm trying to get my bearings and catch up on study that I've missed, everyone else is doing normal school activities. The feeling of being a foreigner still hasn't dissipated, at least not yet. Well, I guess not everything's bad. This is a private school, and that much is easily noticed when walking around outside. Not only are the school grounds huge, but the buildings themselves are immaculate and quite divorced from the dime a dozen concrete block of public schools. There's also the fact that there's a much stronger feeling of community here, or at least a friendlier atmosphere. At my own school, it was generally accepted that people would keep to their very clique and be done with it. Eventually I reached the gate and began to walk down the road into town. Well, that was fairly productive. Having seen a fair portion of town, even including the houses perched on the hill around the outskirts, I decided to take a walk around the park before heading back. Living in the city all my life, the total lack of smartly dressed businessmen and fashionably dressed girls strike me as incredibly unusual. All that's to be seen are the odd elderly person shuffling along the sidewalk and assorted, busily chatting pairs of middle-aged women outside of small storefronts. Walking along the road to the park quickly distracts me from them, though making me realize I perhaps pushed myself further than